Yeah. Okay. Dry fruit and like that. Oh. So hi guys, once again, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chinyere Glam, and I'm so happy to see you guys once again this week. Now, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe. And if you are already subscribed to this channel, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all so much as well for being with me throughout the period that I was, going through, stuff. I'm so grateful for, your presence and your fidelity. All right. So, yes, if you don't know me, I'm a Nigerian French-based content creator. I live in France with my family. And so, yeah. So today's topic is going to be a topic that I know a lot of women struggle with. So today we're going to be talking about toxic relationships and leaving toxic relationships. Now, if you are interested in what I had to say or what I have to say, please do well to subscribe to this channel and we'll be right back. All right. So, as I was saying, so let's start from the beginning. Now, in most cases, I'm sure nobody ever goes, into any relationship, understanding or believing or knowing that this relationship is toxic, Now, my video, I'm not going to talk about how to, know a toxic, person, or, how to recognize a person that is toxic. But what I'm going to be talking about is, leaving this toxic relationship, especially when you are in love with this person. I can go on and on and on and on and tell you about, the side, what we call, I forgot the syndrome. It's the, oh my God, I've forgotten the name of the syndrome. Where when you fall in love with your abuser. And toxicity happens in so many forms. Listen guys, I always get a lot of people, when they talk about abuse, most people think that abuse is just only physical. No, we're talking domestic, we're talking about physical, emotional, abuse comes in all forms, sexual, name it. And one of the worst forms of abuse you can go through is emotional abuse, because emotional abuse will rip you off, to rid you of your person, your self-worth, whoever you are. That is one of the things emotional abuse does to you. In a toxic relationship, one of the biggest things that ranks high in toxic relationships is emotional abuse. An abuser, a toxic person, will not be able to go through, the motion of abuse without, the motion of its toxicity, or his toxicity or her toxicity, without, reining and honing in on emotional abuse, because they gotta feed off of it. Now mind you, many of them are also products of what they saw in their environment, or how they were programmed or how they grew up, and they have not understood or realized that that is what they are. So that said, I'm also speaking to you guys from a point of experience, because I was also in that situation, and I will tell you, it is hard. Listen, the hardness is not just ake. I don't know if you are Igbo, you understand, ake. Obroko ake Igbo. Ake, palm kernel. The hardness of it on is not like palm kernel on. It's stronger than palm kernel. Good. So most times, you find a lot of people, you see in a situation whereby you're asking this person, why are you still there? I went through that. My friends told me at the time, what are you doing? I was told so many things. And just like I said in my previous video, which I'm going to put up here, in this ride or die struggle love thing, which I was also, I would say I experienced that as well. You're in a situation whereby, no, I'm roughing it out. No, it's going to be better. Honey, it ain't going to get better. It's not going to get better. And one of the things you have to understand is you have to reconcile yourself with that fact. It is very important to reconcile yourself with that fact that it's not going to get better. This person is not going to change. Because first of all, like I said in all the last three previous videos, the three last videos or two last videos I put up, I have been saying the same thing. Only someone who's sick and realizes that he is sick or she is sick will seek for help. When they have not understood that they are sick, they ain't looking for any help. They are not looking for no help. No, they are only passing on the baton. All right? They are not. So it is one thing for a toxic person to know that the things they are doing or whatever it is they are doing, or an insecure person to understand, oh, that what I'm doing is wrong and it's got to change. All right? It's one. Then the person now decides, okay, I need to seek help for this. It's the same with a drug addict. A drug addict would always be in denial. All right? But then until the drug addict says, oh, listen, this has got to stop, then they begin to go, for help or seek for help. Same with an alcoholic. It's just the same thing. So they must be able to tell themselves, who are toxic and say, oh, this is not right, before they can understand and say, okay, they need help. So you as the person who is going through this, you have to first of all understand that it's not going to happen. They are not going to change, not in the present and in the immediate future. Maybe, some years to come, but it's not going to change. So put that first in your mind. Now, once you're able to understand this within yourself, that a toxic person, or in this toxic relationship, that this is not going to change, or this person is not going to change, then you have to start talking about getting rid. Excuse me. Now, at that time, then the next thing you now begin to do, at the time you have told yourself this, the next thing you're now going to be working on as a human being is walk away. Listen, it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard. But that is when you need to walk away. Now, you're going to be thinking, oh, I love him so much. Oh, I love her so much. You're going to be thinking how, the time you've invested in this relationship. You're going to be thinking the things you've gone through. You're going to be thinking all of these things. But I would tell you one thing. It's no cakewalk. It's hard. But then you have to, it's more like telling yourself you deserve better. You need to tell yourself, I deserve better, because this cannot be the yardstick. This cannot be, what it is. And I want to take an example from Tokema Kenwa's book on becoming and her story. I recall at the time when that book came out, I read on someone's video at the time, a reaction video to it, and the person said that for somebody who, the person was trying to say that for somebody who has never, who has never been married or something, it's very, it's that how is it that she now comes out to be the one to give marriage advice? And I asked the person, I remember I commented on that video and I said, why can't she be the one to give the marriage advice? And the person, because there were a lot of people, sometimes when you see videos where, or you see in the comment section where people are actually, throwing shots, sometimes it only takes one person to change the narrative of the shots that are being fired for them to actually, make sense of what is going on. So I remember I replied to that video and I said, I can't remember the video, and I remember I told the person, I said, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with her being the one giving marriage advice at this moment. Why? Because she knew that this wasn't what it was meant to be. She knew that for her marriage, she deserved better. She also knew that even in the relationship, things were not supposed to be this way. She had a very clear idea. Recall she said, prior to her parents' death, that you know, her parents were there, they were loving, they took care of them. So she knew that in her home, in her family unit, there was love, there was peace, there was understanding, and they grew up with that. And even well after the death of her parents, she still experienced that same love and peace and, continuously from her family. Okay, so when she got into that relationship and that marriage with her ex-husband today, she knew that she deserved better. So she understood that this cannot be what her marriage should be. She knew that she wasn't cut out to keep doing this, remain in this toxicity, because it was killing her. All right, and that is what I'm trying to tell us here. When you understand that you are dying, you're suffocating, when you understand that you're not moving, when you understand that you lack independence in yourself, in your movements, in your actions, listen, I'm telling you guys for a fact, I went through this. I was in this relationship in the sense that, not just in any sense, I was full on into this relationship. Now, at a time came when I felt that I was I was being seen as a burden. It wasn't said, but it was there. But then, eventually I decided to ask, and it was actually the case. Now, I recall at the time, sometimes going out was difficult. Sometimes if I wasn't with him, I couldn't go anywhere. I had to be, I was taken to where my friends were. He always had to be this constant. The constant was he was always by my side. Now, at the end of the day, an incident happened where he wasn't with me, and then all hell broke loose. Over the course of this relationship, it spanned a while, I would tell you. That was, I took my time and I kept on telling myself, I don't think I can do this. I told myself all the time, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can continue this way. Now, I recall also one of the things that broke my heart more than anything was being told, and I quote, "Without me, you can't get another man." I'm quoting. You can imagine I'm quoting it and it hasn't left my head. And that is why in most of in my previous videos, I've talked about insecure people. It's the same thing with a toxic person. They will bring you down emotionally, psychologically. They will play with your head. I knew that that statement was totally wrong. At the time it was going on, I had no one to talk to, even though I had people to talk to. Why? Because most of the people who were around me had been telling me, get out of this, get out of this, get out of this. Many of them suspected a lot of things, but I wasn't giving out anything. I wasn't giving out any story. I wasn't giving out any information. Everything was purely speculation. And, like I said, your independence, when you lack independence, there are times when I would be in the house all day. I haven't seen this person. I can't go out. It was as though I was locked in a cage. But I was not locked in, but I couldn't step out. So, like when I tell you, and it's very easy to fall into this pattern. And then you put your you put your dependency on someone who actually is trying to drag you, drown you, emotionally, physically, psychologically, in every way. Now, moving on, you have to take your time to think things through. You have to take time off. In my case, and truthfully, no one told me what to do. I just knew that for me to break off, I needed to stop communication with him. I needed to stop a lot of things. And that was one of the things. You have to stop communication and take time off. I took off. I first of all, the first thing I did actually was I broke communication. I was the first person that did it. I broke communication. And by breaking communication, because initially, most times when I was in my parents' house, we could call and be talking to each other, 3, 4, 5, times a day. I also realized that I was always the one doing the calling. I didn't know that at first. Excuse me, I didn't realize that at first. But at the moment when I told myself that, it was time to let go, I then realized that I was actually the one doing the calling most of the time. So I broke that transmission and communication. And at the moment I broke off that transmission and communication, that was when I realized that, God, if I wasn't communicating, he wasn't communicating. If I wasn't communicating, he wasn't communicating. And it went on for weeks, months, and it kept on going. And I was like, gosh, it was hard. I was in a situation whereby, God, what was I doing? I began to ask myself, what had been going on? Really? And I think it was after 3 months or 4 months that my phone rang. For me, it was an eye-opener. My phone rang. And the first question he asked me was, so you stayed all this while without speaking to me. What the hell is going on? You found a new boyfriend? That was what he told me. There was no, are you okay? There was no, I haven't heard from you in a while. What's going? No. It was, have you found a new boyfriend? And truthfully, there was no one. But I just had this wow that came out of my mouth. And I was like, you call me after 3 months. I didn't call you. There was no form of communication between us. You didn't bother to call me until 4 months. There was no, are you okay? Is everything all right? There was none of that. There was no, you didn't call me even the first week, not even second, not in the first month. And then you call and say, oh, you got a new boyfriend. And I was like, wow. It was my eye opener. If you don't break communication, because if I did not break communication, I would not have understood that I was living a life of dependency on someone else. And that was when I said, it's over. But was it over? But in my mind, in my heart, I knew it was over. Walking back again, you have to take time off. And taking time off means avoiding relationships at all costs. Avoid any form of commitment. In my case, I took it upon myself that I was going to be, my own mission was discovery of self. Discovery of self. Anything I had going on with anyone was not, was very temporary. I knew it was temporary. For me, it was, see you, bye-bye, take your time and go. Now, I also realized something. At the time I was playing it that way, and I was busy like, okay, bye, bye. I wasn't keeping people. I wasn't keeping guys. They come, they go. I didn't care. I was way past that. I knew I wasn't in any relationship, but I knew, I was having fun. Let me put it that way. But then I then realized that the more aloof I was, the more there were men who were lining up, who wanted to actually, most of them actually wanted to date me and wanted to have something worthwhile with me, but I wasn't ready to go down that route. At that time, I was running away from it. With, in my heaven, I'm at about 440. Ebrum slippers, blue shoe, I I was doing the 440 run. So it was very, very difficult. I couldn't. And there were lots of them. They were like, but, and I wasn't listening to that because I was on my time off. So you have to take your time off in such things. You have to be able to, walk away and move away from such things. Take time off. Get out of the dating game. Do not be in the dating game. Have fun. Get out of that dating game. And while you're doing this, understand that you are in a process. Because that was what I knew. I knew that I was in a process. I knew I was undergoing a process. I knew that I had to do this. And my process was, I was learning along the way. If you recall, in my last video, I'm going to put it up here again for you guys to go and watch it. I spoke about the fact that, in my process, I spoke about the fact and I said that for me, that relationship gave me, it was an eye-opener for me on what I wanted, and I wasn't going to settle. The yardstick that it had to be. I was looking out for red flags. Oh my God, I was looking out for those red flags like crazy because these were the things I didn't notice before. Like I said, no one walked me through this. Experience did. It was experience that became my teacher. Now, you also have to have a sense of self-worth. Now, recall I said initially that I was told continuously, it became an anthem that without him, I couldn't get another good guy. I couldn't get another boyfriend. I couldn't get another man. I was the man and he was the guy. And in truth, that was the reason I said, and I told myself, this relationship could not continue. So you need to talk to someone. In my case, like I said, I was running away from talking to people or to my friends because, I felt they had been warning me and I just didn't want to hear, I told you so. I just wanted somebody who was going to listen and hear me out. And just let me rant and cry and all whatnot. I found that person, and not the ones that I knew, but I found that person. Now, as things began to unfold, this happens, okay? This happens. But when it happens, don't blame yourself. Emotions can clog one's mind. Don't. I went back. In my case, let me explain. Anybody listening to the video like, no, don't, how could you? I know. In my case, I went back. But let me tell you what I did. I did it for me as a kind of purge. I wanted it out of my system. I wanted it to go. And I did it. Was it the right move? No. Why do I say it wasn't the right move? Because after a while, we started calling each other again. So it wasn't the right move. But then, I sucked it up. I sucked it up and let go completely. I will tell you guys, that's a video for another day on why not to go back to your ex. But these things worked for me. Alright? So toxicity is something that one should not be, you shouldn't support it because it kills you internally. You're calling depression on. You're calling, lack of self-worth. You're calling a lot of things. Your mind emotionally is messed up. So do not accept that. Alright? And lastly, because like I said, talk to someone. Talk to someone. You need to talk to someone. At the end of the day, you need to talk to someone. You need to tell somebody, you need to tell somebody, I for don't die, I for don't, you need to bring it out. Because when you keep it in, it's killing you inside, and it's going to make you, you become, toxic to the next person that is coming into your life. You're going to use all that, the anger, you're going to use all the hate and all the things, unresolved issues, you're going to pass it on. Excuse me, while I'm talking about the fact that, yes, I called him back, and, there was also something it did for me. So yes, there was a win in that situation. It gave me the opportunity, or it gave us the opportunity to be able to talk and say, and I was able to say my piece. It gave me that opportunity because, like I said, I had totally cut off. So going back, it wasn't so bad after all. But then because it gave me the opportunity to be able to talk. I was able to say, this is what I felt, this is what I was feeling, and that was it. And then I then also realized that almost all the things that all the people, my friends, were telling me about were true. And funny thing, now one of the most painful thing about it was that he confirmed it to my face. No remorse, no nothing. And that's why I keep on telling ladies, no matter how sweet that relationship is, don't enter that house. Don't live with him. You could come and go, but don't do that. A lot of people say, after all, there are people that do it and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's true, but don't stay. Don't pack in your bags and baggage and move in there and live and be a living. Don't. It's the biggest mistake any human being, any woman can make. Don't. Because he who deserves you will not need you to be in his home. He will need you, when he has he's committed to you. Then he puts you in his home. So on this note, guys, I'm going to end this video here because I don't want it to be too long. I'm going to end this video here. Please, please, please do not fail to like, share and subscribe. Please like this video because as much as you like my videos, it helps my videos. And please do not fail to comment. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I want to hear about your experience, if you've ever experienced it, being in a toxic relationship, or you are in one and you're looking for how to get out of it. My email address, I'm always going to put it in the description box below. You could email me, at any time, but let us have this discussion because a lot of women jump or are in this boat and they can't get out of it. Alright? And now before I go, right? I want to show you my dress. Remember this outfit? This is one of the reasons I love tulle. Tulle skirts. Tulle. I love tulle a lot. Now this is, remember you guys, I'm a blogger, fashion blogger, mio. And I actually wore one of my blog posts. So I'm going to leave, the link in this video for you to see how I style this. And that's the same skirt I'm wearing as a dress or a top, if you will, because it's pretty short. So I'm wearing it as a top, if you will. And this top secrets, I tell you for another video. See you guys, bye bye. She's right there to turn me